Okay, so here is the Super Bowler Smash army that I've been using for a while on Town Hall 15. And this army is pretty consistent. I don't really change too much on this army except for maybe a couple of spells. The skeleton spell, I might swap that for earthquake spell if it's a Clan War League attack, and I think I can take down a Town Hall with the Flame Flinger. So it's got to be, you know, like on the edge or in the corner for me to, and not too heavily protected with like expos and heroes, that type of thing. And if I can take down the Town Hall in the corner, then I'll bring an earthquake instead of that skeleton spell, just to guarantee that I can activate the Town Hall. If I hit a defensive building that's one tile away from the Town Hall with Flame Flinger, that will activate the Town Hall too, and so I won't have to worry about it. When I'm looking at the base and I'm trying to decide kind of the entry point, the things that I'm looking for are like, where am I going to put the Flame Flinger? The Town Hall is in the center, so I'm not going to be able to get the Town Hall down with a Flame Flinger. And so the big things to, the defenses to worry out for are, for the Flame Flinger, are the expos and mortars and Teslas. Now you can't see Teslas obviously, but you know, you can kind of see where they might be, where there's like a 2x2, and like ground traps. I might try to get some value out of it, like the eagle. So right away on this base, when I see the eagle there, kind of near the corner, I'm tempted to put the Flame Flinger in at 12 o'clock to get the eagle. And then if I do that, now I got to pick either 3 o'clock or 9 o'clock for the Warden, because the idea is that I put the Flame Flinger in one corner and the Warden in the other corner along the same edge. And then the Flame Flinger and the Warden, they work together at the same time to kind of carve out their corners, and then make a an entry point in between them. I would have to go either 3 o'clock or 9 o'clock with the Warden, and it's symmetric, it doesn't really matter. So let's say 3 o'clock, if I did it there, there's the single inferno, and then there's also the sweeper, and since the Warden has the healers on him, those single infernos are definitely a problem for the Warden. And I can take single infernos out with the Warden, but it usually means that I have to use a couple of spells. Like I might have to use a couple of freeze, or I might have to use a skeleton spell and a freeze, something like that. So it is kind of an investment, or I might have to use ice golem or something to distract the single inferno from getting the Warden. So it does complicate it, and it means I probably would have to use a couple of spells just to take out that corner. And the other option is to put the Flame Flinger either at 3 or 9 or at 6, and so if we look at 3 or 9, I could, that would work out fine, because there aren't any, so like yeah, if I look at 3 o'clock, there aren't any mortars over there. There aren't any expos. All the expos are in the center, so I don't really have to worry about the expos at all. And then the Warden, I could put the Warden up at the top to try to take out the eagle. It would just take the Warden too long to get through all of that to be able to get a clean funnel. And so it was better I thought to come in at 6 o'clock with the Warden. And there is a single Inferno there, but it's deeper into the base. It's, you know, getting a little bit closer to it's not quite in the core, but it's getting more towards the center. And so I could kind of clear that corner with the Warden without having to take out that single Inferno. And yeah, so that's what. And then I would use the wall break to just do in the center area where the double cannon is, to get my main army to enter there, and they will path really nicely. You know, to get into the center there. There's walls on either side. And I'll just be able to jump over the wall to get into that center compartment. And I normally, when I'm thinking of my plan, am trying to decide where am I going to put my second jump, because I do like to have two jumps. Typically one jump is going to help me get to the town hall, and one is going to help me kind of exit the center area for a base where it's like a center town hall like this. And so in this case, I know I'm going to be able to reach the eagle from the center, so I'm not as worried about jumping up to get to the eagle. I'm more worried about that single Inferno at 9 o'clock, because I might be able to get to, I probably would be able to get to it with the queen, but if, yeah, I just wasn't completely sure. I was more worried about my troops getting to that single Inferno, because one of the reasons is because the Royal Champion, I mean, it's definitely a big threat to take out the Royal Champion. And so my plan was to jump to get into that area. And so, you know, sometimes the plans for my jumps don't work out, but I usually have an idea like in mind on what I'm going to do with those. The other spells, what I normally will do is, I've got 3 rage in this army, and so I normally will do is I will rage so on the entry point at so say 4:30, getting into to like the double cannon and the scatter shot. I will put a rage. Normally what will happen is in the entry, I'll do a rage in the entry, and then I'll do 1 rage when I get into the center area with town hall. And then for this, that center area is so big, I'll end up probably using another rage on, you know, just deeper into the center area. And the idea is that I want to try to get my bowlers and my healers to move together, and while the bowlers and the healers are moving together, but they're moving along, as the bowlers move out of rage, the healers will move behind them into rage, and they'll be healing up the bowlers. And so I want to put another rage down so that the bowlers get raged, and as they continue to move, then the healers will get raged behind them. And that's really the power of this army, is that the healers are really the secret weapon. They're keeping those super bowlers, their health topped off, and the super bowlers are just doing massive amounts of damage, and that's really the power of this army. So if they get separated, the healers move. Sometimes the healers could move to the queen, and it probably means that the super bowlers are going to go down. But if the healers move to the queen, it's not all bad, because the queen is good to take stuff down too. It's just going to take longer. The super bowlers can do a lot more damage. Okay, so that's kind of the basic idea of sort of the plan when I'm looking at it. I'm looking for the entry, and then I'm looking for what's going to happen for the pathing for those super bowlers. So I have, kind of an idea in mind. In this particular case too, I know for this the attack that the defensive clan castle, it does not have any troops in it. And so instead of a poison, I've got an extra freeze. Let's play on this one. And okay, so I normally will put down the Flame Flinger first, and I almost always put the Yeti in front of it to be able to get any Teslas, any ground traps, giant bombs. And once I get those two down, I put down the Warden and all the healers. So they're working it on the two different corners. They're going to clear out those two corners. I put down that balloon because I was worried about a Tesla being there. I probably just should have put a Yeti there instead of that Loon. But sometimes I'll use a Loon to check for Teslas. I see I did put the Yeti down. The Yeti was just to clear out some buildings to kind of make this funnel here. So you can see I'm leaving in the center at kind of that 430 a path for my main army. Okay, so I'm going to pause it here, and you can see like where the Warden was working, it cleared out a good portion of that corner, and my main army is not going to go left for sure. It's got these buildings that it's going to take, going to that double cannon, going to the scattershot. It's going to go. They're going to go right to the core. First, I'll put down the ice golems, just so that they can do some tanking, and plus, obviously, they're free spells, and so yeah, they provide some good protection. And I've got the Yeti coming over to get like these collectors, but typically, it'll be the ice golems, and then I'll put the king. You normally just need to put the king nearby the aura, the Warden's aura. It doesn't have to be in it, but if it's near it, the Warden will come over for the king, and the Warden would come over for the queen too. But I normally like to use the king to pull the Warden, typically because the eagle is most likely going to target the king, and I would want the eagle to target the king before I want it to target the queen. So that's normally why I put the king down to bring the Warden over, and then I'll put the queen. I usually will put the queen after, and then the super bowlers. The super bowlers I usually will put down like after. I kind of want to wait for that right collector to be down. I don't want the bowlers to have any reason to go off. And yeah, so then I'll put the super bowlers after I get the heroes in. And then I'll be looking to, so there's the king, and there's the king and the queen, and the bowlers are coming in, and I'm going to rage that compartment. There goes an ice golem, so we get some extra freeze. There's the rage. Okay, so I just want to freeze it here to talk about this a little bit. That king will start losing some health. After I activate the king, it might be like I'll wait for like a 2 count before I'll activate the Warden, just so that the king's ability has a chance to spawn some of those rage barbarians, and then they'll get included and be able to do some extra damage under the Warden's ability. And so that's kind of what's happening right now as the troops are entering. I put the entering the core, and I put the jump. It's a little bit hard to see it here, but I put it so that they could jump into the core. The troops could jump into the core. Plus, they would also have kind of a path over to that single inferno, because I want to get that single inferno down, you know, as soon as I can. I don't want that thing like going through my heroes and my super bowlers. So that's why I kind of put the jump over a little bit. One of the things that will happen too with this core, with a core like this, is it will get really confusing to look at because there's so much going on. But you just kind of have to know, you know, like where the bowlers are and where the healers are, and try to keep them both raged up. So as soon as the bowlers enter into the core here, I'm going to rage them up, and then the healers are going to get raged up right behind. And so yeah, I hit the tornado there, so that kind of slows the troops down, and the bowlers just do massive damage. Okay, so I in the left edge here, so kind of like at 7:30, I put in the Royal Champion, and I normally always will put the Royal Champion on the opposite side from where the Flame Flinger is, because I want the Flame Flinger to just keep going and taking out defenses, and it's able to do quite a bit of that on this design. The Flame Flinger is still going, so it's getting a lot of value. And then after I get the Royal Champion to take out a couple of defenses, I'll put in like 2-3 wizards behind the Royal Champion to start doing some cleanup. And let's see what happens here. Yeah, Royal Champion is going to take out that scattershot. I put the jump like I planned, and then I put the skeleton spell to distract, so that the Royal Champion and Diggy can easily take that out. And then at this point, with the Queen having ability and a lot of health on the Royal Champion, I knew that I was going to take this base down. It was just going to be a matter of time. So I put a wizard up on top to help, and the Flame Flinger opened up. And so, I mean, now it's just a matter of just kind of doing cleanup. So there it is, Super Bowler Smash.